Here is a 2024 Toyota GR Corolla Circuit Edition in Ice Cap. This year, you can option two different colors, this or the blue flame, but we're not receiving any increase in performance. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm gonna go over some pros and cons. The problem that I have with the GR Corolla, comparable rivals, and we're gonna start off with the front fascia. We're receiving 5.3 inches of clearance. LED headlights, daytime runnings that integrate into the Toyota badging. The Sport Mesh grille gets the GR badging. Front parking sensors, and the fenders are going to flare out with hood extractors that's housing the 1.3 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder, producing 300 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, paired to a 6-speed manual transmission with rev match, achieving 21 mpgs for the city, 28 mpgs for the highway, reaching 60 at 4.99. It's not going to be the fastest in its segment, but it's going to be just as quick as the Honda Civic Type R. We have a 235/40/18 on all four corners. Gloss black wheels, the GR red brake calipers house 4 pistons in the front, that's 14 inches. Slotted, vented for the front and the rear, dual pistons in the rear, GR4, that's an all-wheel drive. The front and the rear get a Torsum limited slip differential. That's going to be on the premium and the circuit with the Sport Tune suspension, a McPherson strut front, and a multi-link double wishbone suspension. So handling you're taken care of. Going back to the rivals, this is going to be the least in horsepower and torque. It's going to be slower than the Volkswagen Golf Type R, but you could possibly save a couple grand, and this is going to look a little bit more aggressive for the hatchback layout. Going against the Civic Type R, it's about the same 0 to 60, but this is going to handle just a touch better because of the suspension layout. Now I know Honda fans are going to say that is incorrect. The rear is going to get the most aggressive exit with the trunk lid spoiler, LED tail lights, rear parking sensors, a reverse camera, tri-exhaust outlets with the chrome tips, the gloss black elements. It's definitely going to be a sporty drive, which is to be expected because of everything being sport tuned. Carbon fiber on the roof. 300 horsepower is going to be more of a delight because when you're thinking the regular Corolla hatch gets a 0 to 60 almost double the time that this gets it. Quick release going into 17.8 cubic feet. It will sit up just a little bit and the bumper has a touch of a lip. You'll have some storage on both sides. Underneath the floor has some storage compartments. You can remove the privacy cover by these two little clips right here. I'm tall, so I'm just going to go inside to fold down these seats at a 40-60 split, and that will maximize the cargo capacity to the GR Corolla circuit. We need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note. The Circuit Edition gets 6-way manual seat adjustment for the front, heated front seat, synthetic leather interior, blue stitching, GR badging. Headroom and leg room. This is a manual, so we have 3 pedals. Leather around the shifter, GR badging. The blue contrast stitching is going to be found throughout. The dashboard is going to keep the same segment as all Corollas, except we get 8-speaker JBL sound system. 8-inch infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse and we get a reverse camera. There is no trajectory that expands out. Climate control setting, wireless charging pad, gloss black elements, and the driving mode select, which on the gauge cluster, you have a total of 4 modes. Sport, normal, Eco, and we have custom, which you come over here, click onto the settings, and you can make this more sport drive, or the air condition, you can make it more eco drive. The gauge cluster is a digital reader that can go through an array of information for the driver, including different settings, and you can change out all the areas. So if you want to change out the right side, you can do so with turn-by-turn navigation, or you can go into the left side and do the same exact thing. Leather wrap steering wheel, 3-spoke GR badging, multi-function, GR push button start, manual park brake, cup holders that are holding the GR Corolla key fob. And right here is for your track mode, which you just push and hold, and you'll see right here where it says GR4, it'll turn into track. You can change it to 30/70 or change it to a 60/40 split. Gonna have a little bit of storage that's gonna be tucked more or less for the back. Same thing for the 12 volt and the USB. It's more accessible for the back seat occupants. Door panel and dash integrated together. You get the blue contrast stitching. It's soft where you rest your arms. One touch up and down for the windows with a medium-sized storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. For the back seats, headroom and leg room with storage behind both of the front seats. The floor isn't flat. You'll see in a second how I sit in the center. Cup holders, armrests. Fold that up for a second. And the door is going to have the same materials that's found in the front, except it's only going to be soft right here with a cup or beverage holder. Because the floor isn't flat, pick your feet up. The rails are not pushed up enough, so you'll be sharing some feet space, butt and shoulder space. Knee space isn't too bad if you're 6'3" and driving or in the passenger, and headroom is going to be a little compromised at my dimensions. 300 horsepower, sport mode, turn radius, gonna be about 2 and a part lane. Let's rock and roll. Oh, she's engaged. Boy, she's engaged. Talk about a fun vehicle, and it's still practical. I know it's not necessarily the biggest vehicle, but when you're thinking about hot hatches, this fits in a really tight segment, and yet you're gonna have fun with this vehicle all around. Look at this. Oh, I love the engagement to it as well. The manual is definitely something that's needed if you're someone that's concerned because you're thinking, well, I can't drive a manual. It has Riv Match. Just try it. 3 pedals. I know it's something to get used to because everybody's used to an automatic transmission, but 4.9 seconds is definitely going to be fun. Now, the ride to it is going to be a lot more sporty compared to the standard hatch. Because of the larger wheels, you're going to feel a lot more of the imperfections. You're not changing anything of the ground clearance. The road noise filters in quite a bit, but you will hear the exhaust notes, so that does cover some of that, which I kind of like that part. And that's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is we're getting a vehicle that has the performance that Toyota has been needing to give any of their variants. I wish that they did the same thing in the GR86. Interior, it actually, to me, feels more comfortable because of the sport seating, because it bolsters to your back and your butt. Well, this guy's clearly not gonna go. Fun to drive vehicle. This is gonna tick the box that's gonna put a smile on your face, whether daily or weekend drive. Some cons to the vehicle is they don't really change any of the setup for the dashboard, and I would have liked to see them maybe reconfigure where the is, so that way it would be lower and not kind of like an eyesore. The gauge cluster itself is getting a little bit outdated. I understand that the GR Corolla hasn't been around too long, but it would be nice to see some upgrades for interior components. The big problem that I have with the GR Corolla is we lose the performance variant from last year, so we're not going to get increase in horsepower and torque, and this is going to be the least in class when it comes to that. And it's not going to be the fastest either. That will go to the Volkswagen Golf. So for me, it's a tough choice because you're getting quite a bit of value. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Gettle Stadium Toyota for